Hi and welcome to Marc's Motivational Podcast, another Music Sunday episode. Today I'm delighted to be joined by another guest, another great singer-songwriter, Triona Singh. So you're very welcome along today, Triona. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks a million, Mark, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for asking me.
No, thank you. So we'll probably start off the podcast tonight, or today rather. Would you like to tell the listeners a bit about your music and your great songs that you have out there in an EP, please?
Sure, yeah. I released a 5-song EP last year in 2021, and the title of the EP is Triona Sings, which is also my stage name. It's got 5 songs, which opens with Ruby My Beauty. And Ruby My Beauty I wrote for my first daughter, Ruby. And it's about the joy as well as the chaos that our first children bring us. And it's I think you have 3 children, Mark, so you know what I'm referring to.
I do, yeah. Definitely, yeah. No, it's a great song. It's a really good song.
Thank you. I love it. It's a waltz, and So the second song then is about going with the flow and taking it easy, and it's really about a state of being that I aspire to. It's much less like the way I actually live my life, but I do think we'd all be better if we could just take it easier. And if we could nurture a little bit, and the reference to the flow with the wind is just to go with the energy that's already there. And I think it's really important to nurture the planet at the moment. So I like just to reference nature. And then the third song is quite a different song. So it's a song of grief and frustration. It's called The Void. And it's basically, it came from a place when I was already writing songs and trying to get myself out there and finding it really difficult because I didn't know the music industry. I didn't know how to go about it. I wasn't playing with a band. I wasn't in a scene. I kind of hit on songwriting again later and in terms of my life. And I just found it really hard. So I wrote this song out of frustration, but it's also about losing faith. And like most of Irish people of my generation, I was brought up Catholic with no questions asked. And then, going through different stages in my life where I realized that the absolutes there are no absolutes. So there is a grief when you figure out that you have to let go of certain things that you believed were to be the case. And that song refers to that. And it's when I sing that, I imagine myself like the little king on a lonely planet out in the universe and staring into deep space, just wondering, is there anyone out there? So it's quite I laugh, but it is a lonely song. And I always dedicate it to people who are experiencing loneliness or isolation or abandonment when I sing it live. And even if they're listening tonight, that's who it's for. And then the fourth song in that EP, it's a different tone altogether. It's a much more strident and it's a strong tone. It comes from a place of relatively it's strength. And it's called Light in the Pattern. And it is a contemplation on whether our discontent or our suffering or us being ill at ease is to do with internal circumstances, whether, it's our psychological programming, our conditioning, how we were brought up, or our attitude, our outlook, or if indeed it's to do with the many external factors which can cause suffering, such as violence, poverty, famine, pestilence, a pandemic, and all those things that are very real, and that no amount of positive thinking or, changing your attitude or getting your mental health or your house in order internally is going to change those things. And these things cause a lot of suffering. And usually those who suffer most have really very little influence over them. So it's kind of like I started one position in the song thinking, well, there's an awful lot of it is on us and it's to do with our attitude. And then I realized, well, no, actually not so. But it's for the listener just to decide themselves. I'm in between 2 stools on that one. And it also refers to, there's one line in it, power transferred from colony to church. And that refers explicitly to the abuse of power, first by a colonizer and then by the institutions who took over and filled that gap in power. And those institutions were the state, the Catholic Church, and the various government departments. So it's quite a political song, that one. And it just asks who's taking responsibility now for the way things are in Ireland, who is, because there are too few, as far as I can see. And then the last one, a bit of hope and light.
Yeah.
But badly needed. So Narnia is the song that I wrote. It's just really it's like a prayer, really, and it's a song of faith and belief and hope and light and love, and it's asking the universe or the sun, the physical sun, or whatever entity or wherever we believe we can get comfort and solace and nurturing and energy. It's just say, bathe me in this light. So it's a very hopeful ending to the EP, and that kind of trajectory of opening up with Ruby and the joy and the chaos together, then the flow, then the void, then the political, and at the end of the light. That was a very conscious storyline that was going through the EP. It wasn't an accident that it went in that arc. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's great. Like there's great backstories to all your songs, and they sound very powerful. So I'm really looking forward to sharing your music on the show notes for everybody to check out. So make sure everybody checks them out. So thanks very much for sharing the stories behind the songs. They sound great. And probably as well, have you always written yourself? Where did the journey begin for yourself with your songwriting?
Yeah, so I haven't always written, actually. So I started playing songs and accompanying myself to covers mainly when I was a child. I got a guitar from Santa.
Yeah, like as well.
I was like, oh, what do I do with this? So I started to learn. It's not instant. It's not instant gratification. But I did start, and I started to learn, and it didn't occur to me that you could write your own songs for a long time. And I did a lot of covers, and I did a lot of folk, a lot of trad, a lot of rocky covers, a lot of pop. And it was only really, I did a degree, and then I did a FOSS course, which is what you did in my day after your degree.
I remember that myself, yeah.
Everyone graduated to FOSS courses because there was no employment. And I was doing one in music and drama, and it was great. And I was just kind of, because I was exposed to music all the time, and people were writing songs in the group, I just started writing. But I parked them. I used to write the melodies first, and then I'd write lyrics over it, and then I just parked them because I just thought there are so many amazing songs written. Leonard Cohen I'm a big fan, and I mean, you can't beat that. No. You can't compete with, and Cat Stevens, like the stuff that came out of the 70s was just extraordinary, in terms of the poetry and the lyrics and the music, and it was just brilliant. So I just thought, sure, all the great songs are written, and then I did a lot of choral, and I did a lot of cabaret, and I did my masters and whatnot. And it was really only in 2013, after my second daughter Juno was born, that I actually, it was after doing a show, actually, that somebody gave me a lovely opportunity to do a show. And then the process of writing the show for Jezebel, which was, I was using country songs, but I wrote a story to weave them together. It was a little mini musical. And it was that process. It was actually been challenged myself to write creatively, that I realized, there was something just hit me. And immediately after that show, I wrote Juno's song. And that was the first song that I'd written in a long time. And I just kept writing. Then something was unleashed.
Yeah, brilliant. That sounds like a great FOSS course, by the way, Triona. That sounds really cool. I'm sorry I didn't come across one of them myself.
It was brilliant.
That sounds brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah. That sounds great. And that's great. Yeah, thanks a lot, Triona. And just what keeps you motivated in your songwriting yourself, Triona? If you could say one or two things that kind of keep you going with your songwriting. Just say, for instance, you find it difficult at times to write.
I don't find it difficult to write the songs. What I do find difficult is to get them produced and to get them out there and then to promote them. So, I have to say that for me, the writing is the easy bit. The writing and getting the melodies is really the easy bit. I don't really. That's the nice bit. That's the enjoyable bit. Right. It's that thing of finding the producers, finding the accompanists, finding the whole shebang to go around it, and then the promotion. Like last year when I was promoting the EP, I was just like, it was a lot of desk work. And I I don't have unlimited time. Like I do have a day job that I have to I work, and I have family and everything. So I found that even though it was great to get it out there, that element I just lost time to music. So now I'm delighted to come back to the album again and to be able to focus on that. And I'm working with a great producer called David Flood, and we're putting the album together now. So hopefully it'll be out next year. And but you asked me about motivation actually, and my girls are huge motivators because I have 3 girls. And it was really when Ruby was born that I started writing short stories for children again, and there's a lot of things that I wrote, and I was really motivated to do the things that I wanted to do, even though it is challenging when you have children in terms of time. But I really didn't want to be a mother who had put all my stuff to one side, because I didn't want to show them that. I wanted to show them that you can do what you want to do at whatever level you're at. You have to do it. You have to do what you want to do. And whether it's at amateur level or semi-professional or professional or whatever level your art is at, you have to do it and you have to get it out there. So I wanted to live that for my girls, so that they will do it, and that they'll be motivated to follow their dreams if they have them, in the performing arts if they have them, or wherever they want to go. And then more literally, Ruby's song is published, Juno's song is written and going on the album, but I have to write Lola's song yet, and I've gone at it a few times and it's not there yet. So that's a big motivator. I need to get her song down. She's a very, very brave and courageous little girl, and it's hard to capture her, but I am very motivated to have a song for each of them on the physical album. I didn't put the EP on a CD, but I do want to have a physical CD for the next album, and I want my girls to have a song each, so that if I don't do any more, at least they have their songs.
Well, that's brilliant, and what a lesson for your girls as well. That's absolutely brilliant. Like, for keeping them kind of motivated for in life as well. That's brilliant. Like, Tríona, absolutely brilliant. Because as well, I love your voice as well. Like, it's such a great folky voice as well. So it's going to be great for to share your great music as well on the podcast, and so where as well can people listen to your music and buy your music as well, Tríona?
So I'm on Spotify under Tríona Sings. Those 5 songs are on Spotify, they're on SoundCloud, they're on YouTube, and they're on all the distribution channels. So when you I don't know if your listeners know this, probably lots of them do, but when you want to get on Spotify, you have to go through a distributor, and they've put me everywhere. Even on platforms that I didn't even know exist, or that I never used, like iTunes, Apple Music. There's all sorts of they're all those channels. So really, wherever you're listening to your music, you should be able to find Tríona Sings. It's great. It's bizarre, but it's great. But the ones I use mainly are Spotify and SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Actually, if you wanted to buy the EP or song by song, they're very affordable on Bandcamp. I have a little website there as well.
Yeah, Bandcamp is really good. I've actually used that myself. It's a really good, easy way to kind of get your music out there. Like, and you can put for anybody who's listening, as you know, Tríona, you can put as much songs up as you like. There's no restriction on it, isn't there?
Yeah, it's brilliant. And it's also, people can listen for free. Like, they're on my website. They can listen for free if they want. And I hope they do, because, for me, there's no commercial gain really in it. And there's no... But people, it's very nice when people do want to support. And I got great support when I did that EP. And I had lots of people just buying CDs or buying the EP off Bandcamp. Half of them, I know, friends of my parents wouldn't even have the facility to play them, I'd say. That there would...
Exactly.
But it was really nice of people to download the files and to pay the couple of bob. So I really appreciate that when people do that. Yeah, and thank you.
No, it's great, isn't it? And you done a performance recently. I think the last time we were open, like we were allowed to do stuff. Was there some kind of concert you did before as well? Was it online? Was it? Sorry. Yeah,
I did First Fortnight's Kishtin, which is actually a year ago now, which is on, like, time stood still in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So since Kishtin, I was in a lineup with the great Al McKelleher and Sinead White and Gary Tiernan, and it was pre-recorded in Arthur's Pub, and it went out last January, and then again on YouTube in March. So that's available on YouTube, and it's on my own YouTube channel. But also I'm in a group called Mothers Artists Makers, and that's where I test my songs. So when I write a song and I write the lyrics, I write the melody, I put down the chords, but I'll bring them to a salon to test them. Firstly, it makes me get them to perform in standard, but secondly, it's just when you get other people's feedback, you really know whether you have a song or not. And I test them there. But we're doing a gig. It's probably going to be the last MAM gig we're going to do online, and it's on the 3rd of February. So that's going to be, the tickets are available. It's on Zoom, but the tickets are available at Eventbrite. It's ticketed. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you might send a link to that as well for when it's happening, and I can put it on the show notes as well for people to find.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, the link is live actually, so I'll send it to you now straight away after this. Yeah,
brilliant. That's great. Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant, Triona. Thanks very much. And
no
as
problem.
well, I know, like, no problem. So who influences it? What kind of music or artists or bands have influenced you most yourself? And your favourite, really, to listen to.
Well, I've listened. My taste is so eclectic. So I was brought up in Balmulla, County Mayo, and really the only kind of music I was exposed to growing up was country music, both American and country and Irish. And I love the country greats. Like, I love the songs of Dolly Parton's and Johnny Cash, and then later the more rocky versions. They're amazing songwriters, and they're amazing songs. And Steve Earle, Waylon Jennings, for some reason, all the guys, I think they're brilliant, and I perform them and I love them. And then later, I did a master's in the Irish World Academy of Music and Dance. There was a degree, a false course, and a master's. And
great fun.
I did it really was. But I did that in world music, so we got exposed to including traditional Irish, and we got exposed to amazing music from all over the world, and it was just really brilliant. And I made great friends there who I'm still friendly with, and great musicians. So I really love trad, and I really love world music. And then I joined Contori Choir, where I met Accardo, and also, well, not in that order. We sang for years before we got together, but we did choral arrangements of world music in that choir. A lot of Hungarian music, a lot of Russian music from all over the world, alongside the classics, and that was great. So I love choral. And then I went to journey into cabaret. So I've done a cabaret show. With the songs of Kurt Weill, Jacques Brel, John Kander and Fred Ebb, the musical numbers from Cabaret and Chicago, and just those great cabaret numbers. I just absolutely, they're just fantastic. So I did a show in Bewley's Cafe Theatre in the Cobalt Cafe, and I did a show in Dublin Fringe Festival. And then I had my girls, so the cabaret was kind of parked. I did a lot of parking, I think I said that earlier. But all of those influences, and then of course there's the folk, and there's the Leonard Cohen and the Bob Dylan and the Cat Stevens, and all of those 70s greats that I'm heavily influenced by, and I still am. And so like I love a really good set of lyrics, and I really love really dynamic music, and I love rock as well. We listen to a lot of Queen. The girls love Queen at the minute.
Class.
They're brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's on kind of constant in the house and in the car. So it really, to be honest with you, like when people say what genre, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. You sound very like me, Triona. You sound very like me. you've just mentioned all the bands and Johnny Cash and class. Brilliant, yeah, absolutely brilliant.
So there was a guy from First Music Contact, David Wilkinson, I was talking to, and we're talking about. He said, "No, you have to give yourself good labels when you're putting stuff up." And he said, "Why not try cabaret folk?" And I was like, "Okay." Cabaret folk, that's who I'll be then. Brilliant. And then Pinocchio magazine ran with that as a headline when they did an article on me, so I was delighted with that. It sounds good.
That's great. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, because I agree with you there. Bob Dylan was some songwriter, isn't he, Triona?
Yeah, and I love his political. I love his songs, and I love the political nature of the songs at the time. They're anthems. So many of them. So yeah, I was just sending one of my songs actually to David yesterday, and we were talking about it, and it is an anthem. It's called Conflict Resolution, and it's, even though it's a very celebratory, upbeat song, it really I wrote it actually 3 nights before the shooting in a school in Florida. And there's a line in it that says, if you're feeling isolated and your mind is locked in stasis, well, don't bother making friends, just take up arms. But it's a play on that, take up arms. And it's actually, it means, surrender and the much more peaceful take up arms. So, but it felt, it felt very uncanny, because I wrote it on the 9th of February and this happened on the 13th of February. And it felt very, very sadly predictive. So, yeah. So some of my songs are quite political. I have a few feminist anthems as well that I'm dying to get produced. Okay. So
good stuff, yeah. And this thanks a lot for sharing all this, Triona. It's brilliant. And also, did you find it difficult in the pandemic kind of to write your music, or was it kind of a struggle in any way over the last 2 years?
The pandemic. I mean, the pandemic was different for everyone, wasn't it? Like I did struggle with the restrictions. I did particularly the very first lockdown when we could only go 2 kilometers. Like, that was hardcore. I did struggle with that. Now we made the best of it. We live near the Phoenix Park here, so the big thing for me has been spending time outdoors. So I did get time outdoors. But to answer your actual question, like I was able to record my EP in the first, we did the recordings from August to December 2020. So even though the pandemic was on, and then the restrictions changed dramatically during that time, you were still allowed to record. So you were still, recording was permitted for broadcast. So we got that done. And then the Kishtin gig, which was also pre-recorded, that was also permitted, and that was broadcast. So in actual fact, I was okay during the pandemic, in terms of performances. Like, I would have loved to have done more live performances, and the MAM salons that we used to do in person, they all went, and that was a huge outlet that I missed, and in fact, I can tell that if I had had a year or two of salons, I would have finished an awful lot of the other songs that'll be going on the second album. But there was that thing of not having that outlet where you needed to bring something you have to finish it before you put it in front of people. So it's one thing to put the songs down and the lyrics, but in actual fact, there's a lot of rehearsal and practice that goes into it before it's ready. And unless you have an audience, there's not a, you're less motivated to do it, essentially. So I'm dying for that to get back on again in person, and for gigs to be more, for gigs to happen, essentially.
Well, thankfully we're heading that direction now. Thank you. So that's really, really promising news there the last couple of days, thankfully, but I know. Just we all still have to be careful and cautious, but as you said, it's been awful for everybody the last 2 years, but at least you can kind of look at stuff we've done progressively, like the songwriting and the writing of the short stories. It's good to kind of focus on what you can control, and what's in your locus of control.
There are elements of it as well. The pandemic really forced me to slow down, and in actual fact, particularly, like I rarely slowed down, but like, say, the Christmas where we couldn't travel, it was actually really nice to just go, okay, stop. We can't do anything. We can't go anywhere. We can't travel. But so just taking it easy and taking a step back with the family, and I've actually really come to value lots of time with nothing in it, even though I might be busy with the family and doing stuff, but stuff that's less planned, where you can actually decide, okay, we'll go with the flow a bit more, So I've become to really value that, and I don't want to lose all that. I don't want to go back. I'm dying to get out, but I don't want things to be hectic again. Yeah.
So we learned a good few lessons, as I say, from it, like, way to relax more. Yeah. But listen, this has been fabulous, Tríona, talking to you. Thanks very much for coming on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to sharing all your music from the show notes for people to check out. So make sure everybody goes to the show notes and plays your songs. And I wish you all the success going forward with your music and your songwriting.
Thank you so much, and it's been lovely talking to you, Mark. And I'll just say the name of the album before you go, so people can look out for it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sorry. It's
called. Yeah. So the EP is Tríona Sings, and the album is called The Diva and the Doormat.
Great. Diva and the Doormat. That's one won't forget. Very easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also I have the pleasure to play with Ricardo, your husband, as well. We play in a band together, so that's really good. That's connection, folks. That's brilliant.
It is connection. Yeah, and he's rehearsing the bass line for one of my songs right now as we speak.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing that.
I'm dying to hear that. Yeah, and he's dying, Mark, to get back to the band. So I'm really looking forward, for his sake, for you guys to start making music again. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Thanks, Tríona. Okay, so thanks a million for tuning in tonight to Mark's motivational podcast, Music Sunday episode. That was Tríona Sings, everybody. So thanks again, Tríona. All the best.
Thanks a million, Mark. Will I leave?
Just finish up here. Okay, so thanks very much, and take care. Talk to you Tuesday for Audits Tuesday. Take care. Thank you.
Will be my beauty, the first one who knew me wanna sing. Why do I cry on my own? Just wanna sing. The voiceless void just sits and stares and says nothing. Golden silence, I'm not quite sure of anything. You can't set it up and return to oblivion. Leave us here to figure it out and disappear. I champion you in the songs that I sing, and now you just sit and stare and say nothing. Why do I feel all alone? I wanna sing. Why do I cry on my own? Just wanna sing. I'm not quite sure you're there at all. 50-50. Why is it so hard to understand anything? And shards of hope and shreds of light, seeking comfort in the night. Sometimes there's not much to hold in this life. Why do I feel all alone? I wanna sing. Why do I cry on my own? Just wanna sing. And here I am, abandoned by a great voiceless void. Why was I naive to trust anything? Why do I feel all alone? I wanna sing. Why do I cry on my own? Just wanna sing. Bathe me in your golden light, your golden yellow warm sunlight, and visit the edge of consciousness with me, and visit the edge of consciousness with me. Wrap me in your golden cloak with outer layers of velvet blue. Remain within my consciousness of you. Remain within my consciousness of you. such fun. So cheeky and smiling with eyes so beguiled, could not believe what we'd done. On the day you were born, my heart felt so warm. You looked at me straight in the eye. We could not believe the joy we perceived right in the eye of the storm. You rearranged us, you moved us and turned us from skittled us right upside down. You changed and derailed us, you freed us and saved us. Priorities moving along. Ruby, my beauty, the first one who knew me as mom. Ruby, my beauty, your playfulness threw me such fun. Ruby, my beauty, they said that your heart was not right. Ruby, my beauty, your heart was just open too wide. We feared it and rooted, we downright refused it. We grieved it and held you so tight. One valve was open and steadily closing its own way and in its own time. 6 long months later it sealed and it healed, and now Ruby, my beauty, you're fine. You were so little, so precious, so pretty, petite, a tiny wee sprite. No one expected nor anticipated the steel of your will and your fight. Ruby, my beauty, the first one who knew me as mom. Ruby, my beauty, your playfulness threw me such fun. Ruby, my beauty, the first one who knew me as mom. Ruby, my beauty, your playfulness threw me such fun. So cheeky and smiling with eyes so beguiling, we could not believe what we'd done. We identify the source of our real content as external to ourselves, but it never is. Search to improve, detailed plans, step after step. Making arms, look outside the cycle. Who does it? Light in the pattern. Who sees it? Too few. Just a few moments in each lifetime, scales fall away, things rise. Just a few moments for each one, too few. Statistics on suicide, a nation depressed. So much hardship, so much repressed. It's a miracle the Irish survive. What cost? We identified the source of our real content as external to ourselves. It was power transferred, colony to church. Too much. And back to the drawing board. Disarray. So much abuse. Can't stay. Who takes responsibility? Too few. our ill content is external to ourselves, and it sometimes says. Maybe now is the time to flow with the wind. Maybe now the effort can be lessened. Is there a force to access? Is there momentum out there? Maybe now we should stop and give in. Maybe now is the time to be wise. Maybe now is the time for surprise. Quieten the effort, listen, then turn and go the same way as the wind. Maybe now is the time to flow with the wind. Maybe now the effort can be lessened. You can force and fight. You can challenge life. Maybe now is the time just for life. Maybe now is the time to be wise. Maybe now is the time for surprise. Quieten the effort, listen, then turn and go the same way as the wind.
Yeah, thanks a million for tuning into today's podcast. That was a really good interview I did there with Tríona. Tríona Sings, it's her stage name, so that was great. And I really enjoyed sharing her music there. Some great songs that she shared with me there. So thanks a million for that coming on tonight. So tune in again for Choose's podcast. Thanks a lot for listening. Take care. Thank you.